Welcome. This is a Humble Vinyasa Yoga practice, level 1, and that will make more sense as we go. So if you're tuning in live or if you're tuning in afterwards, please again make sure that you've read the disclaimer and that Alo's back there and that you've read the yoga essentials. If you do have blocks, grab some blocks. I will show you how to use blocks and a blanket. You may also want to grab a couple pillows and have those handy. Please do not move into pain during the practice today. So we want to avoid sharp shooting and searing type pains and move within sensations that we can breathe easy through. For those of you who have more experienced practices, you may want to move quicker than the pace is moving at today because it will be more instructional. But I do recommend that because of this overstimulating time that we're experiencing right now, I do recommend to take the space in your practice and in your poses today and really find the rest, find the asana in the actual pose. So you may see me jumping out. I'm going to ask, you can comment now and you can comment at the end of the practice, but I'm going to ask people to refrain from commenting. I don't know if we're going to have a lot of people on here anyways today, but just refrain from commenting during the practice unless you need to, so that I can easily find them, because I'm going to be watching this to see if anybody has any questions for me. So I'm going to be either jumping out to look at questions, I might need to grab a drink of water or blow my nose. And if I do move from a pose and you're comfortable exactly where you are, I'm going to be also moving around in my poses on my mat to show people modifications. So I encourage everyone in my practices to honor the intuitive inclinations of your body. That will make more sense to you as you continue coming to the mat. I do recommend that when you can start practicing with a live teacher, please do practice with live teachers again. That is so beneficial, having that, then I can, teachers, we can observe you. So most importantly here, relax. If the fun comes out in you and you start feeling joy, that's good. That's what the body needs. The body needs that growth chemistry right now to combat illness. So we're going to get started, and I'm just going to come down over here, grab a quick drink. So again, I'm Jill, the instructor, Jill Lang. And again, if anyone has any comments, questions, please pop on and ask the questions. I will be watching the feed. So we're going to start on our backs. I'm going to do my best to project here. I'm working with a laptop and no external microphones. So if you can't hear me, again, pop on, let me know. I am watching those comments. So you can start any way you'd like, but I do recommend that we start on the back. The back is the best and most therapeutic for the nervous system and the immune system. So finding a comfortable position on the mat. There's a little ridge at the back of the skull. It's called the occipital ridge, and you can even reach back there with your hands. And there's a little ridge, and we want that ridge, if we can, connected to the mat. So even if you do have your hands down, you simply tuck the chin to the chest, let the shoulders relax down from the ears, and allow the chin to float up and rest where it may. And then the throat and the neck relaxes, chin to collarbones, and ears to shoulders. And you decide here if you want to stay in a constructive rest pose with the feet on the mat and the knees bent, feet as wide as the hips, or feet wider than the hips and knees falling together. Some people may even want to find a full shavasana with the legs out long, if that's comfortable for the hips and the back. And then you decide here if the hands are on the body, you have them on the belly. That can be relaxing for the nervous system to breathe the belly into the hands, basic belly breathing. Or you can take one hand on the belly, one hand up on the chest. Some people even like to have both hands on their rib cage. So taking one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, or wherever is comfortable for you. The hand up here on the heart can help to harmonize the brain and the organs to the heart frequency, to the wavelengths of the heart, which also promotes healing and boost the immune system. So you stay right where you are. I'm going to pop up for a minute and soften the gaze or close the eyes. Let the jaw slacken. And we'll take about 3 cleansing breaths at the pace of your breath. We'll exhale. And then inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh. And again, inhale. Exhale. Big sigh, small sigh. And we'll do one more inhale. And exhale. And bring the breath back in and out through the nose. You can swallow a couple of times if that helps lubricate the throat. Inviting a gentle, subtle smile to play on the corners of the lips. Eyes twinkling behind closed lids. And that subtle smile helps to relax the jawline, ears down to the shoulders. Inviting any flesh hugging the skull to soften its grip. And we're taking long, slow breaths in. And long, slow breaths out. We're softening, relaxing on the exhales. And allowing any tension or tightness from the muscles and the mind to melt away with the breath. When we feel that softness from the back of the skull, gently moving down the neck, softening, relaxing between and along the insides of each shoulder blade. Soft above, below, and surrounding the collarbones. Again, here making sure that the jaw is relaxed. Being easy with the practice today. If something's not feeling at all right at all throughout the practice, letting me know in the comments. And just following the inhale with the awareness. And following the exhale with the awareness. And sigh a few more times out the mouth if you need to. When we exhale, sigh, it's like a yawn. When you go to bed tonight, notice what you do as the body adjusts to sleep mode. We usually yawn, and that signals to the body, the nervous system, that it's time to relax, it's time to sleep. And these sighs are these cleansing breaths. If they're balancing for you, you'll know if they're not balancing for you because you won't want to do it. But when they're balancing, it will feel good, and you'll either want to let a big breath out like a big sigh, Or even just a little sigh. So I'm going back down to the mat now. And if the legs are out long, we're leaving them there. And if the feet are on the mat, mindfully here, heel toe the feet towards each other. And extend each leg out long. So hands on the belly, or down beside the hips, whatever's comfortable here. And we bring gentle movement into the body by wiggling fingers and toes. You'll hear me talking a lot about the low belly. So when I say engage the low belly, I'm talking about our transverse abdominis. It's about 3 or 4 finger widths below the belly button. And on your next exhale, we think about drawing that area slightly in and up. So we engage the core. And now as we inhale, you can reach the arms up over the head, yawning and morning stretching fingers down to the toes, being mindful of the pelvis and the back, as well as the shoulders. Shoulders down, ribs in, toes flopping open, breathing in. Breathing out, hands back down beside the hips, low belly draws in. And we inhale, slide one foot in towards the buttocks. Exhaling, leaning into that foot. And then inhaling, sliding the other foot in. And pausing here, noticing if we need to make any adjustments through low back, pelvis, shoulder blades, head, neck. And then inhaling, knees to the chest, grabbing our knees, shins, hamstrings, whatever's available. Pausing through center as we breathe the belly into the thighs. And then exhale, gently rocking side to side, massaging the back and honoring the intuitive inclinations of your body. Pausing through center. Right hand meets right knee, left hand, left knee. Inhaling, knees to the chest. And exhaling, drawing circles with the knees in either direction. These circles big or small, slow or fast, whatever's intuitive and comfortable for you. If there is any pain or clicking in the joints here, we hear or feel a clicking sensation, then lessen the movement or just pause. And on your next inhale, we'll draw the knees to the chest. And exhaling, drawing circles with the knees in either direction or opposite direction. We're promoting balance in the body where we can. You may even feel those inner adductor thigh lines, part of our deep core, warming up. And then inhale, knees to the chest, following your breath waves. And exhaling, reaching fingertips and toes up to the sky. Softening into the elbows and the knees, staying still. Shaking out the arms and the legs. Flesh loosening from the bones and the joints. You're allowed to jiggle as the blood begins to flow from feet to hips and hands to heart. And then pausing the shaking. Taking circles, hands, feet one direction, warming wrists and ankles. Breathing easy. And circles, hands, feet, opposite direction. And we'll pause this movement, hug those knees back down to the chest, sigh if you need to. And we'll start today either wiper blading the knees side to side or partial twist with the knees falling over to one side. So here, if we can, we tee the arms out to the side. Just make sure they're not too high. You want your shoulders comfortable. The feet are either hip distance apart or wider than the hips. And you can explore here if the feet are close towards the buttocks or further away. And if you know the wiper blading movement, you go ahead, you find that in your body now. And if it's a little bit newer to you, I like to start by gently rocking my pelvis, my sacrum, here, the knees side to side. So we're massaging, rocking across the back of the sacrum, being mindful of the knees, the back, and the pelvis. And as this is comfortable on an exhale, see if you can drop all the way over a little bit deeper. You can stay here for a few breaths, or inhale, knees through center, and exhale, knees to the opposite side. So it's like we're rolling across the sacrum, gently stretching the thighs and the hip flexors. You do this, follow your breath. I'm just going to pop out for a second. Good. Taking another couple movements here, side to side. Always moving with the breath, slowing down as much as you need to. It's important for the nervous system and the immune system right now to slow down. And then once this movement is complete, we'll draw those knees back up through center. Bring the hands down beside the hips, hug the knees to the chest. Rock from side to side, sighing if you need to. And then on your next exhale, we're going to roll off to the right or the left, pausing for a moment on the side. And always draw that bicep up and lay on the bicep. We collect the breath here, allowing the body to relax. Then exhaling, leaning into that supporting hand, the low belly draws in. And we inhale, rise up to the hands and the knees. Meeting in a neutral tabletop with the shoulders and the wrists stacked, knees and the hips about stacked. You can, it's comfortable, fingers spread wide. But you honor your body. So if it's not comfortable to be on the hands here for the wrists, we can come up on the fists. And if it's not comfortable to be like this on the hands and the knees, let me know in the comments and I can do a workshop on cat-cow. So warming up the spine and more into the shoulders here, sinking the breath any way you'd like. On your next inhale, we're dipping the belly, lifting the gaze, opening the front of the spine. And exhale, pulling the chin to the chest, rounding the spine. Sinking down through the index finger knuckle mounds. Then inhaling, dipping the belly, lifting the gaze. And exhaling, pulling the chin in, rounding the spine, opening the back of the spine. So you go ahead, continuing this movement with your breath. Gaze soft. Eyes closed if we need to tune in to shut out any external stimulus. If you want to stretch here, the muscles around the eyes, looking all the way up on the inhale, and all the way down on the exhale. Sometimes it's even nice to use cat-cow as a breathing exercise where we're fully filling the lungs on the inhales and fully emptying the lungs on the exhales. And take 2 to 3 more movements here in either direction. And with your breath, one more full breath in. And one more full breath out. Inhaling back through our neutral tabletop. For child's pose balasana, knees are together or apart, the hips sink back to the heels. Fold the body over the thighs, reaching the arms in front of you. You decide here if you're energized here through the arms or relaxed, whatever's most balancing for you. If it's comfortable, the forehead connects right down to the mat. Or we can cross the forearms and place the head down on the forearms. Wherever we are, we want the back to relax. So if you can here, we're breathing into the back of the body, the back rib cage, the back lungs. And then as we exhale, we soften, relax, tension, tightness from the muscles, the mind melts away with the breath. Rock the head side to side, massaging the forehead if that feels good. You can stay here like this. If you need to come up, you go ahead, honor your body. Otherwise, we're going to come into a side stretch. So walking the hands over towards the right first. We exhale. And then inhale, breathe into right, left side bodies, lengthening up through the pinky fingers. And as we exhale, we're going to walk the hands over towards the right, not going deeper than the body is ready to go. Being mindful here of this left elbow, the forehead can drop down to the bicep or to the mat. Relaxing the shoulder, the neck. Then breathing into left side body. Stretching here, the teres minor muscle, part of the rotator cuff, and it's the muscle that we feel stretching kind of underneath and along the side body of the shoulder blade. Softening, relaxing, slowing the out breaths. Slowing the out breaths helps to relax the nervous system. And here, taking one more full breath in. And breathing out, walking the hands back through center. And then we inhale. And exhale, walking the hands now to the left. So stretching right side body, not going deeper than the body is wanting to go. I'm just mindful here to relax my head so that you guys can still hear me. You can relax the head, either down, resting on the bicep, or right down on the mat. And then breathing easy and slowing the breath. And one more full breath in here. Breathing out, walking the hands back through center. So we allow the fascia to adjust. It's a relaxation, softening quality here in the body. And then preparing for downward dog. On your next exhale, the low belly draws in. We energize the hands, pressing down through the fingertips. And inhale, now rising back up to the hands and the knees. Knees, feet, meeting about hip distance apart. Hands somewhere between shoulder and mat width apart. And tuck the toes and press up. We'll press the hips back to the heels. Measure the best distance here for our hands where we can stay relaxed through the neck. And we either lift here if we have the strength, or inhale forward. Low belly draws in, and exhale, lift the knees. So downward dog is an inverted V position. A lot of people will want to keep the head up. We want to, if we can, we want to drop the head down. Some people might need to really bend into their knees and not stay here for too long if you're new to this pose or newer to this pose. We've been coming here for a while. We want to sink down through the index finger knuckle mounds, down through the big toe mounds in the feet. Walk out the dogs. Bending into one knee, bringing the sole of the opposite foot to the floor. Bending into that other knee. Maybe shake the head no if that feels good. Nod the head yes. So coming into more warm-ups here, a low lunge. Option to do full Anjayanasana, and then back into runner stretch, Ardha Hanumanasana. So we're going to stay static today, and if you want to move around and you're used to going forward and back, you go ahead and you honor your body. So left foot forward first, we breathe in. Breathe out, leaning into that right foot. Inhale, left foot floats up. And as we exhale, we step the left foot to the hands, pause, soften. We want the front knee about above the heel and slowly dropping down to that right knee. Roll the mat up or take a blanket under the knee to pat if you need to. Toes tucked or untucked. If we can untuck the toes, that helps us connect to the core line. And as we root down through the top of the foot, we inhale, pull this right hip forward. And start to lengthen up through the crown, and we can stay right here. Or you can come a little higher, maybe take the forearms to the front thigh, hands to the hips, or cradling the sacrum. Staying stable through the pelvis. The arms can always float up here as well. Hands apart, hands together. Lengthened upright or extending through the spine, whatever's comfortable here in your body. Plugging down through this left big toe pad, toe mound. A little deeper hip flexor stretch. Just want to be mindful of the pelvis here, those sacroiliac joints. Soft along the front of the neck. And then with your breath, one more full breath in. Breathing out, folding forward, preparing for runner's stretch. Some of you may want blocks here. As we inhale, lengthen up through the crown. Inner thigh line engages, and then we exhale, start to shift the buttocks back. So this is more or less what it will look like if you have the space in your hamstrings. You may need to have blocks here, either here or here, drawing them back, bending this front knee if you need to. You can even tuck the back toes. Just be mindful here of the tailbone, sacrum. Left hamstring stretch, staying really engaged through the low belly. And then slowing the breath. Here, one more full breath in. Breathing out. And then inhale forward. We're going to plant the hands for a downward dog, tuck the back toes, lifting the knee. And exhale, step that left foot back. So letting everything relax. One final side here before we start moving into our main sequences. Breathing in. Breathing out, leaning into that left foot. Inhale, right foot floating up. Exhale, stepping the right foot to the hands. We pause and soften. Lunge, knees above the heel. Slowly dropping down to the left knee, patting it if we need to. Leave the toes tucked or untuck them to connect to the core line. Root down through the top of the foot. You start to inhale, pull the left hip forward, stabilizing the pelvis. And stay down or start to rise up. Hands on the hips. Cradling the sacrum or the arms float up. Hands can stay apart or come together. Soft above and below the collarbones. Plugging down through the right big toe pad, toe mound. Breathing easy. And then one more full breath in. Breathing out, we're going to fold forward, plant the hands for another downward dog, tuck the back toes, lifting the knee, and stepping that right foot back. So we allow here the fascia to adjust and prepare for Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana B on the left side. So if it's helpful to set up the stance, we walk the feet together at the back of the mat, breathing in. Breathing out, leaning into that right foot. Inhaling, left foot floating up. And exhaling, stepping the left foot to the hands, pause, soften. And now anchoring down to that right heel. Feet are perpendicular. We're plugging down through big toe pads, toe mounds, anchoring down through the right baby toe mound. Low belly's drawn in, and slowly we inhale. The right arm sweeps us up into position. You go ahead, find your way into your Warrior 2. Readjust the stance as you need to. Hands can rest on the heart, at the hips, or the arms float up. And whatever's comfortable for your neck, whether looking forward or out over this front hand. And as we exhale, we're softening, dropping the weight into the feet. And then from here, moving into a triangle, Tita Trikonasana. We inhale. Exhale, lean into the feet. Inhale, straightening through this front knee. We're plugging down through big toe pads, toe mounds. And as we exhale, we glide. Now, some of you may need to come back up and out and adjust the stance. And depending on how your shoulder is doing today, this right arm will be elevated or the hand will be resting on the hip. You can look down. You may want to use a block. This is a good place to use a block here. For some people, let that arm float up. And here, one more full breath in. Breathing out, we look down, allow the right, and then the left hand to travel down. We're moving into a lunge. So you pivot on the right toes and step the right foot back and out to the right if you need to. So moving into our twist here where we plug down again through the big toe pads, toe mounds. Exhale, low belly draws in. Lean over into that right hand. You can use a block here if you need to. And then we inhale and twist open to the left. Looking to the side or up, whatever's comfortable. Breathing easy. The left hand can rest on the left hip if you need it to. Always adjusting wherever you need to, just come out first. And then one more full breath in here with your breath. And exhale, left hand down. We're going to meet either in a plank or a downward dog, stepping that left foot back. If We are meeting in plank, shoulders above the wrists. We're lengthening forward through the crown here. You'll have another opportunity to explore, toes together or feet apart. And here we breathe in. And then exhale, chaturanga. Go your way. I'll drop to the knees. We want our elbows to tuck close. Body presses down, pulls through. And you decide here, elbows tucking in and pressing back. If you want to rise into a cobra, where we inhale, breathe into the belly. Only lifting that chest as high as we can go. Or if you want to rise fully, upward dog. And I tuck my toes, but you don't have to. And then exhale, pressing back. Downward facing dog. And exhale, side. Just take a couple breaths here. I'm going to move myself around on the mat. And prepare now for the right side. So if it's helpful to set up the stance, warrior two, feet together at the back of the mat. Breathing in. Breathing out, leaning into that left foot. Inhale, right foot floating up. And exhale, stepping the right foot to the hands. Pause, soften. And anchoring down to that left heel. Feet are perpendicular. Warrior two, Virabhadrasana B. Inhale, this left arm sweeps us up into position. Renegotiate the stance here if you need to. Nice, gentle stretch through the pelvis here. This back thigh, left thigh. Where you feel the strengthening is on the right thigh on this side. Hands at the heart, at the hips. You can let the arms float up. Gaze in line with the shoulders. We're looking over the front hand, maybe that front middle finger. And we want to be soft above and below the collarbones. And we're breathing easy. And then from here, moving into triangle, breathing in. Breathing out, find the feet. Inhaling, straightening through the front knee, plugging down through big toe pads, toe mounds. You can adjust the stance if you need to. And exhale, glide. And we can use a block here. This lower hand, left hand on the hip, where the arm floats up. You want to be aware here, feet to pelvis. And one more full breath in. Breathing out, looking down, lunge, letting left and then right hand travel down. Stepping left foot back, adjust the stance here and lunge. Front knees about above the heel. Use a block if you need to under the left hand. Leaning down now into the left hand, and if it's safe for your body, we're going to inhale and twist open to the right. Arm flutes right up, where the hand rests on the hip. And this is one variation of these twists. I find it the most nourishing, but you honor your body. And then one more full breath in here. Breathing out, right hand down. Stepping right foot back for a downward dog or plank. Shoulders shift above the wrists. We're lengthening through the crown, and we breathe in. And we breathe out, chaturanga, dropping to the knees with me if you need to. Elbows tuck close. Pull the body through. Elbows tucking in and back. And on your next inhale, you can simply breathe into the belly, lifting the chest if you have that space. Or rising higher into an upward dog. And on your next exhale, pressing back. Downward dog, sighing, shaking up the head if you need to. Maybe squeezing the brows, the hairline 2 or 3 times. going to turn around on my mat. And then one final sequence here, being mindful, we're coming into a warrior one, launching into a warrior three, and then moving down through a pigeon pose. And if pigeon pose is not appropriate for you, I will show you a modification. So starting again, left foot forward, we breathe in, breathe out, leaning into that right foot. Inhale, left foot floating up. Exhale, stepping the left foot to the hands. I'm just taking a smaller step for myself because this tree is here. And then anchoring down to the right heel. So feet, both heels are down, front knees about above the heel. And slowly you rise. There are many different variations, expressions of this warrior one, wherever we are. If we have headlights on the hips, we want them forward. Hands can rest on the hips at the heart, or the arms can float up. Hands together apart. And stay upright through the spine with the gaze forward in the center line of the vision. Or inhaling and extending whatever we have space for and whatever feels good in the body. Just knowing when to use the tools that you learn from the various teachers. They're in your toolkit. Soft above and below those collarbones. And then when you're ready here, we're going to lift that right heel, breathe in, and then exhale, launch into a warrior three. So you go ahead, you find your expression of it. If you're experienced, if you're newer, hands to the hips. Call this toppling tree. You can stay right here. And we only start to come a little deeper if we have that space. Some people might want to leave the hands at the hips, tee the arms up to the side, or lengthen forward. Maybe even bring the hands to the heart. And I recommend engaging this back foot like we're pressing it into a wall to stabilize the pelvis. And then on your next exhale, we're going to find our way through a tuck. So the knees come together and we start to round. Some people may want to use blocks here. You have long legs. They're stiff through the hamstrings. So tuck either on hands on the block or down to the mat. We relax the head. So we're always allowing the fascia to adjust as we transition. So coming through lunge, we've been here once already. Drop down now to that right knee. You can untuck the toes. So this is pigeon. And coming through left side, you may want to have a blanket or a block for this hip. Be very mindful of the knee here as we heel toe the left foot over. I like to have a nice angle here with my foot closer to my pelvis, but some people like to have the shin angled right up to the top of the mat, parallel, but that's not necessary. And if this is not comfortable, I'm going to show you a modification in a second. You can use a block. So if we're in pigeon and it's comfortable, we're going to inhale, rise up, and then exhale, come down. Some people like to come right down. Modification, there's two modifications. Just gently lean over to the hip, draw the knee in. So these are mermaid legs. And you can fold over this front knee. It's not the most aligned variation, although some people don't mind it. And if you need to, just mindfully make your way to the back. And I'll be teaching this with instruction in the core video class. So pigeon pose, we draw the left knee in, take the ankle to the thigh, the right thigh, stay here. We'll lift that right leg, interlace the fingers behind the right thigh, and let the head, the shoulders relax comfortably back. So you can either stay in reclined pigeon or figure four stretch. And just make sure when you come out of it, you mindfully make your way through a downward dog. I'm just going to stay upright because I got this tree in my way. And breathing. You want to soften and relax as we exhale. Slowing those out breaths. And wherever you are with your breath here, we'll take one more full breath in. Breathing out, hands under those shoulders. Inhaling, rising up, tucking the back toes. And when you're ready, the belly draws in and we step back, downward facing dog. Sighing if you need to, shaking out the head. And finishing up here, right side, warrior one, breathing in. Breathing out, leaning into the left foot. Inhale, right foot floating up. And exhale, stepping the right foot to the hands. We pause and soften. I'm not taking as big of a step because of the tree. And we want to anchor down through this left heel. It's nice to have a nice hip distance stance for the feet. And slowly inhale, we rise, hips forward, our ribs in, lumbar tailbone long, hands at the hips, the heart, and the arms float up. And gaze is fixed in the center line of the vision, forward, we're extending up. And relax above and below the collarbones and along the neck. And then preparing here for warrior three, balancing pose as we pick up the back heel, we breathe in, and then exhale, launch. So notice what side we're steadier on. For me, it was my left side today. Hands at the hips, stay right here. Focus on the balance, and only do we start to come deeper if we have that space. The tendency will be to shorten the right side of the body or kind of fall that way, so you just want to make sure that we're balanced whatever level we're at. So even if it's here, pelvis stable, we stay right here. And one more full breath in. Breathing out, we're going to soften down into a tuck using blocks if you need to. Soften down, knees come together. We relax the back and the head. Sigh if you need to. And then step left foot back. We transition through this lunge. We've been here. Drop down to the knee, pad the knee if you need to. And then heel toe. Right foot over, or we come to the back for pigeon on the back. So wherever you are, you honor your body. We're either here, coming down, gently leaning off to the side, swinging left foot through, coming down to the back, comfortable on the back, right knee in. Cross the right ankle to the left thigh, staying here. Or lifting the left leg and maybe even interlacing the fingers the opposite way with the head and the shoulders, relaxing comfortably back. Softening, relaxing as we exhale. Always being mindful of the knees. And then we'll take one more full breath in here. Breathing out, hands under the shoulders, low belly draws in. And inhale, we rise, preparing for one final downward dog, tucking the back toes. Lifting up when we're ready, inhale. Then exhale, stepping that right foot back. Just taking here maybe 3 to 4 breaths, letting that freshly oxygenated blood flush through the right hip, knee, heel and toes. Any movements your body's calling for. Sighing if you need to. And then we'll look up towards the hands, and you can either walk the feet to the hands, or the hands back to the feet. We'll do a little bit of both here. Uttanasana, this is our one main forward fold. You can leave the knees straight or bent, fold the body over the thighs, let the head go. It's like we're in a standing child's pose, especially if we're bending the knees and letting the body rest on the thighs. You can clasp the elbows each other. You can hang here or fold any way you'd like, maybe rocking side to side. And clasping the elbows the opposite way, rocking forward and back. And then hands, fingertips down, lifting the toes, fanning them apart, connecting to the four corners of the feet as we soften into the knees. This is our big toe mounds, baby toe mounds, inner outer heels. Let the toe pads all drop down. We plug down through big toe pads, toe mounds, little belly draws in, and safe for the spine here. We're going to round up, vertebra stacking on top of vertebra. Exhaling, weight dropping down into the feet. And slowly we're going to inhale, head unfurls, arms sweep up for 3 sweeps, palms meet. Exhale, hands to the head, and then the heart. 2 more sweeps, inhale. Exhale, hands to the head, and then the heart. 1 more full breath in, inhale, and exhale. Soaking in benefits of all that yoga here in standing. Hands can stay at the heart, or we can drop into the hips. Sign if you need to. You know, if you come to my classes, we like to shake it out. It's the only time we do a little kundalini, a little whisper, let everything jiggle. And we're going to come down. So you can either come right down to the back, or if it's safe for you to practice squat, we're going to open up the stance. This is our squat malasana. Hands to the heart. We inhale, lengthen up through the crown. And exhale, hinge. So you can come right here, or if it's safe for your knees and your ankles, we'll come all the way down. You can readjust the stance as you need to. Some of us may need to step on, take a blanket under the heels if they're not touching. Like this. That's just if you're not touching through your heels. You have the space here, hands at the heart. Just going to feel the back, relax, here lengthen, strengthen. And then gently we'll come down to the buttocks. And then down to the back for twist, right, left, happy baby, and shavasana. So slide those feet in. Tee the arms out to the sides. Hips left, knees right. I'll walk you through stacking the hips. You can twist any way you'd like. So we breathe in. Breathe out, low back down, lean into the feet. Inhaling, lifting the hips, the spine peels up. Exhale, shift the hips over towards the left onto that right butt cheek. Drop the knees over to the right, leaving them staggered, or stack the left knee on the right. And with the knees together, hug them to the chest. You always take this right hand up on the left thigh. If anybody does need a workshop for twists, we can do one of those. I'm looking up or out over this left hand. You want to be soft above and below the collarbones. Breathing as deeply as possible here, as is comfortable, feeling the ribs expand. And as we exhale, we soften, relax, and slow the out breath. Jaws relaxed, taking one more full breath in. Breathing out, looking up, low belly draws in. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, feet, hips back through to the center of the mat. Breathing in. Breathing out, low back down, leaning into the feet. Inhaling, lifting the hips, the spine peels up. Flesh the lungs, mini bridge. And exhale, shift right now onto the left butt cheek, dropping the knees to the left, leaving them staggered, or stacking left knee on right or right knee on left and hugging them to the chest. You always take this left hand on the right thigh. We can look upright over that right hand. Soft above and below those collarbones. Breathing as deeply as is comfortable on the inhales. And on the exhale, softening, relaxing, calming the central nervous system as we slow the out breath. Jaws relaxed. With your breath, one more full breath in. Breathing out, looking up, low belly draws in. We inhale, knees up. Exhale, feet, hips back through to the center of the mat. And here you can take a happy baby or any final movement that your body's calling for. Happy baby, we can either grab the heel edge of the feet, big toes, heels, or the arch. Move around like a happy baby. Or any movement your body's calling for. And then we'll release the feet, grab the knees, give them one final hug and squeeze, maybe rock side to side. And then you go ahead, either taking a full shavasana here, lengthening those legs out long, or constructive rest, knees bent, feet on the mat. Some people might want to take a block here between the knees to rest the inner thighs, or just simply let the knees drop together and let the feet be wider than the hips. Gaze is soft or the eyes are closed. We release and relax, toes to the crown. Weight of the body surrenders down as we accept the support of the earth beneath us. And we surrender and relax. Shavasana. without disturbing the physical body. Bringing the awareness back to the breath. Bringing movement into the body by wiggling fingers and toes. At the bottom of the next out breath, engaging the low belly. And inhale, reaching the arms up over the head, yawning, stretching, fingers down to the toes. Exhaling, relaxing. Breathing easy in. Breathing easy out. Rolling off to the side, right or left, pausing for a moment on the side. Body relaxes as we collect our breath. When we exhale, lean into that supporting hand. And inhale, rising up. Leaning on the seat. You can sit up on a support, a blanket, or a pillow if you need to. Sitting cross-legged, or any way that's comfortable for you. Sitting bones plugged. Lengthening up through the crown. On your next inhale, hands meeting up at the heart. Exhaling, bowing the forehead over the fingertips. And with the hands in this Anjali Mudra, gesture of appreciation, I invite you to think of one thing you appreciate. And slowly peeling open the eyes, lifting the gaze. Thank you all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. If you have any questions, please let me know now in the comments. Namaste.